Hey everybody, hope that y'all having a beautiful, wonderful day. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. It's not too bad, hopefully. But my fellow fragrance lovers, my fellow fragrance enthusiasts, how y'all doing? How's the fragrance life been for you? If y'all don't know, I have told y'all many times. I do know that perhaps I should schedule it here on YouTube because a lot of people seem to like to get notified. I uh, I don't know. I tend to remember if a schedule, but I can see why actually having a pop up and a reminder could be very nice. So I do get on here 6 p.m. Central both Friday and Saturday nights. I have missed a Friday or two, but always on Saturday. So hopefully y'all are doing really well. It's life has been pretty good. At least doing a little bit better over here in my neck of the woods. I can say that, I guess, literally. So how are y'all doing? How's the fragrance life? Have y'all been getting into any new fragrances? And did y'all enjoy my video today on how do you say it? I can't even say it. Bergamonto de, how do you say that? Like Piscano or Pisciano. Anyways, from Florist London. If you don't know that house, it's a really good house with a lot of history, just like Penhaligon's, who doesn't get a lot of love. They don't get a lot of talk, and it's really funny that some really famous big houses with a lot of history don't get a lot of talk. It's probably because their distribution isn't too readily available, especially in the USA. It's probably because they don't give out free bottles and they're just not too well known, I guess. Hopefully, I can help them get a little bit more popular. Hey there, Bravius. Hello, Ben. How you doing? You look awesome. Thank you for that compliment. I do appreciate that. Y'all are all awesome as well. How's the fragrance life been going for you? Any new fragrances in your life? Susie says, hello, how are you doing today? I'm doing quite good, Susie. Happy to see you. How have things been going for you? Anything new? Do a few push ups and spin to start the stream. Hey, if I did that, for some reason, people like that. Jeremy Fragrance spin? Maybe people would like that. I don't know. There's another fragrance reviewer. He also does like a little dance or something. I don't know. Maybe y'all would like that. If I was I don't know, the court jester or something. I don't know. But maybe I should do something that's different. A little, I don't know, something kind of ridiculous in the beginning of every episode. Am thinking about doing some more editing in my videos, but I'm really one of the big discussions. Hey, Schism, happy to see you. Experience fragrance with Amina. Happy to see you. Hi, everyone. I'm finally catching one of your lives. Yes, I'm happy that you finally were able to make it. Evening sent today is Imperial Armani Louis. I haven't tried the Louis. I've seen the Diamonds version. What is the Louis like, Ronald? And thank you for popping in. You're always wonderful to see some, faces, everybody that I know. So, anyways, or somebody that's a regular, I guess I should say. One of the things I wanted to bring up is not only I mean, I want to make more edited videos, and maybe I just need to do a different channel, but I'll still keep making fragrance content and reviews, but I mean, numbers aren't everything, and I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy what I'm doing, but I actually didn't grow any subs this week. I actually lost about 5, which, again, I put out hard work out there. I put out a video about every day. I'm doing my best. I don't know what else I can do besides, I guess, do haul videos really regularly. I know people really want me to focus on affordable fragrances and affordable content, and I really do like helping y'all find the fragrances that are really good value. But I also do like to explore indie and niche and a lot of interesting fragrances out there. Some people would say I'm an influencer. I do like to showcase new brands, and if they want to send me something, but mostly what my channel is really about, y'all know this, is that I really want to, share my journey. This is a little bit more of a personal YouTube channel. Perhaps, people think it's best to make everything into a business or make everything focused on that aspect of things, but that's not really what my channel's about. And I feel like, you know, I don't know. It's another one of those times where, I am happy with y'all, and this is a wonderful thing. YouTube is a wonderful place, but you know, should I do something different to at least be growing a little bit or modestly, because my channel isn't growing at all at this point. If I don't do top tens, if I don't do tag videos, if I don't do haul videos regularly, it seems like my channel doesn't even grow at all. So I lost 5 subs this week. So maybe y'all can help me know, what else would you like me to do differently? I did a lot of editing. I did editing for a while, and I used to put as much as 2 hours into a video editing, and it probably didn't look like it, but I cut out any pauses. I really don't have pauses. I'm really good at doing videos. Actually, most of my videos you watch are just one straight cut. I don't really mess up. I really don't have bloopers anymore. Sometimes I'll do funny things, but I'll just crack a joke. So I don't know. Let me know. Maybe there's something else you want me to say, want me to do. Evening, folks. And Louis is okay. It's a soft masculine fragrance, heavily reformulated. Unfortunately, would not recommend. Okay, yeah. That I haven't heard much about it. I'm curious if it's discontinued. Really, I don't hear a lot about it. I don't see that one in stores. So yeah, that's sad that it's been heavily reformulated. I know that some fragrances, even if they've been reformulated a bit, they're still able to hold on fairly well. I think that Fahrenheit's been tampered with, but it's still fairly good. Anateus is still fairly good for what it is. I don't think that they've messed with Platinum Egoist too much, if I remember right. There's a few fragrances that have been adapted. Eau Sauvage, it was reformulated, but it was pretty truthful to form, and they haven't really tweaked it or cheapened it. I don't think past that initial reformulation, when I think it was probably the myrrh and maybe some of those other ingredients. Maybe maybe their hand was forced by the IFRA and regulations. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that the myrrh or maybe something going into it perhaps was too expensive for Eau Sauvage, but the new version a lot of people are familiar with. It's still a pretty good darn fragrance, and the cologne doesn't last as long, but the cologne is also nice. A lot of fragrance brands, when they make a cologne version, it's often cheaper, or especially sport versions. Sport versions can be even worse, where it's just lighter and maybe not a lot of effort went into it, but who knows? But that one's really nice. So, Evening Schism. Schism says, "Hey Susie, thumbs up." So everybody, how y'all doing? Did you have a good weekend? I recently, I'm on my own journey. I'm on my own fragrance experience, and I have a fragrance coming in from Vicanto. I don't know if y'all know about Vicanto. They are a wonderful company, but I say that and I haven't even smelled their fragrance. I just know what I've heard from other fellow fragrance reviewers and what I've read on Fragrantica, and I know that it's going to be solid, probably pretty solid quality coming. It's essentially a branch off, a side company off of Tiziana Terenzi, and they have some very creative fragrances. I bought one of their citrus fragrances, hoping that I could find a citrus that I truly love, because I have a hard time with citrus. I'm hoping that it's really good. Some people are saying they got as much as 8 hours performance out of it, and some people are saying it was pretty darn good. So I'm hoping that I really like that one. And I bought a really interesting tobacco Arabian fragrance from a house that almost nobody knows about. So I'm excited that I'll be able to share that one with y'all. As it comes down to in the fall and the winter, I'm hoping that it's going to be a winter gem for me, and it'll be exciting to show y'all that one as well. And it's an amazing price. I'll let y'all know where you can get it. It's about a $60 fragrance, and it's retail. Supposedly, it's about $200, but I don't know much about the brand besides what I know, just a tiny bit. Just received my bottle of Savior Fare Soul Cafe. House Soul Cafe. I haven't tried that one. Let me know, what's that fragrance about, and is it niche, is it indie, or it's good? Anima. Amina, sorry. So smooth and mysterious. I almost thought you were saying animalic for a second. That's where my mind just went straight to. Mysterious, huh? Does it have any coffee? Hope it has some coffee. We like coffee fragrances around here. Nice, I'll have to try it. I don't know if y'all have tried Boissimo. That's probably my favorite, one of my favorite, if not my favorite coffee fragrance I've come across so far. And from Hild Solani, I believe it is how you say it. And I really got to get her fragrance. It's about 100 mils for I think about 180. It's an exclusive fragrance to Lucky Scent, so I don't think you're going to find it everywhere. It's not easy to find, but Lucky Scent does have it. And if you're looking for a coffee scent, guys, that stuff's gorgeous. Boissimo by Hilde Soliani or something like that. Solani. She's a wonderful lady. So, hey there, Charlie Brown. Hey there, how you doing? How's the fragrance life? How's the fragrance world? Are there any fragrances you're looking forward to wearing in the fall? Yes, absolutely, Amina. I love fall fragrances. More complex, richer, perhaps even gourmand fragrances is what I love. I prefer musk, leather, and gourmands probably most of the time, or heavy fragrances with like coffee, tobaccos, and ouds. So I'm looking forward to wearing a lot of my fragrances. I want to get a full wearing out of my Amber Fever by Mansara. My Oud Mineral by Mansara needs a lot of love. I have all kinds of fragrances that I really love, in the fall and the winter. I get to pull out my Polo Supreme leather. I get to pull out. I recently bought, fairly recently bought, what was that? Pure Excess Night from Paco Rabanne, and I saw Cubano's review that fragrance today, and that fragrance is a knockout of the park, guys. I think it's pretty well done. It is synthetic if you're niche. If you're, it doesn't smell synthetic, it doesn't smell cheap, but if you are that picky and you like very expensive fragrances, it probably is going to bother you. But I really like it. It can get you a lot of attention. It's a very strong fragrance. I have a story to tell about that one. It's a very potent fragrance, and I really like it. And like Cubano said, lots of ginger, and I like ginger at least when it's done right in a fragrance. So, anyways, a lot of fragrances I'm looking forward to. I can't name them all. I can't remember all of them, but and a lot of testing to do, and I do like ouds as well. So, um, where is it? Okay. DOA says, how's it going, Ben? Evening. Yes, it's in the evening. The sun's setting. That's why the sun is in my camera here, and it's quite bothersome. And also, people take their, walk around here a bit, and the little dog doesn't like that. So sorry if the screen is a bit blurred out by this blinding light. I wish I had a really, really nice studio. I really don't have a nice studio like a lot of other fellow fragrance reviewers. Maybe that's what I need. And maybe I should dress up in a suit like everybody else, huh? I don't know. I don't feel like that's genuinely me. But perhaps I could do that. I do have some nice ties. So, it does have a coffee note. Very realistic. I'll have to check. I'll have to look into that one. You said that was Soul Cafe from the House of Savior Fare. I'm not sure. You should check out the site, Amina. Okay. I'll have to check out Soul Cafe. I'm not Ray Lewis says hello. Hey, how you doing? How's it going, my friend? How's the fragrance life? Anything new in your world? Joseph says, what's up, man? Long time no see. Yes, happy to see you. I think you're my Nightwish friend, aren't you? If I remember right. Long time no see. Looking good. Thank you. I did get quite the haircut. By the way, the first time in my life I don't own a frag right now due to some past economic crisis. So I want to start my journey again. Yes, I think you were telling me that some things popped up in your life and you had to sell a bunch of, most if not all your fragrances. So yeah, that's a terrible thing. I've been struggling. Y'all know that for a while, but I do find a little bit of money. I do save up, and I'm able to, buy a few things here and there. Um, you know, I definitely want to do better and do more. So I trust your nose. Give me for one season, $400 budget. I should make a video about that. I know a lot of I've seen quite a few fragrance reviewers make some videos like that, but for every season. I don't know your taste and your nose, but a spring fragrance could be something beautiful like Terre Hermes Eau Très Fresh. You can get that one for it's Hermes quality, and especially if you get a big bottle and they're not heavily discounted, but you can find them sometimes at discounters, a full-size bottle for about 70, 80 odd dollars. So that gets you $80 if you're looking for a summer fragrance. If you have $400, you might be able to spend a little bit more. You might be able to spend and get a really good summer fragrance. On the affordable side, there's Tommy Bahama, very affordable. But if you have some more money, I don't know, you might be able to get a partial, or maybe find a really good sale on something like Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Aqua Universalis. That it is very expensive if you pay full retail, but again, you might be able to get a good decant or a split, or maybe even find a really, really good sale out there. I don't love that fragrance, but some people seem to. I don't know, there's not a lot of actual aquatic fragrances in that like 80, 90, $100 price range that I would suggest that are really good aquatics. And again, maybe that's just because I have a hard time with aquatics, for the most part. But lighter, fresher scents. I recently got Roadster Sport. I think it's a pretty darn good fragrance, and I'm really enjoying it. So you could go for maybe an Acqua di Parma. Maybe look into Acqua di Parma. The Colonia Essenza is quite a solid fragrance. Maybe if you want something slightly fougere-ish, like I have a mosquito bothering me. So sorry about that. So Colonia Essenza from Acqua di Parma. Okay, so maybe that one would be good to look into and see if that's one you like. For a fall fragrance, I would suggest something with leather, maybe something with tonka. So maybe you could look into, again, Supreme Leather by Polo. Some people want something bolder for the fall. It depends on how cold it is where you live. If you have a more mild fall, you can get away with Supreme Leather. I have a more mild fall. I live in a place where it sometimes doesn't even get freezing during the winter, or it's freezing for only like 2 weeks or a month at most. Supreme Leather on a leather coat, on a jacket, smells darn good, and it lingers on clothes, of course, but I don't get terrible performance out of it. I get 6 or 7 hours at least. So that one could be really good for the fall. If you have that kind of money, you could get you could even go full on niche indie. You could probably, for about $100 or even maybe a little bit less, you can get Francesca Bianchi fragrances for 30 mils. It is smaller. It's not a lot of juice, but you've smelled a lot of fragrances. It probably would be good to buy some more core essential designer fragrances. Fragrances that'll be always there for you, easy to wear, and work for every situation. But I think you've had a pretty good collection. Maybe you're ready to dive into something maybe a little bit more unique. I really like a fragrance from them called The Dark Side. It's a very well done dark patchouli and amber fragrance. Very, very sensual. And I love that fragrance. I actually, when I save up, I'm definitely going to be buying myself a bottle of The Dark Side. But they have a number of really good daring fragrances. Some of them are quite animalic from Francesca Bianchi. So definitely don't blind buy. Even though they are, they're bite size, about $100 for 30 mils, which I wish that more niche brands would do that. Especially if you're a big fragrance collector, if you're really deep into fragrances, you probably only need 30 mils. That you might not even ever wear 30 mils of, especially a more unique artistic fragrance. That's probably even more than enough. So I really appreciate that her brand does that. So for a full-on winter fragrance, I don't know if you've tried something like Block Afgano. Most people would say that's way out of the price range, but again, depending on what sales you get, in a $400 budget for 4 fragrances and for a year, you possibly could get into that, especially if you find a good price. Maybe you find a used or a partial. That is a very daring fragrance with a lot of personality, and it's a really, really good fragrance. Black Afgano is solid. You could also, go for something more affordable. Some people would suggest it's more of a fall scent. Bulgari Man in Black, the original, actually projects really strongly, almost beast mode, for about almost 2 hours on my skin. If you're looking for a more affordable, fragrance, but potent, it's going to stand up to the winter. That Black Afgano, not black, that Man in Black by Bulgari works. You could also get Pure XS Night if you want something more of almost like a party scent. If you want to go to a fall festival, if you wanted to really get noticed and really grab people's attention, it's really strong stuff. That's going to be a very trendy fragrance. It's still very new, still pretty, I think, pretty in the limelight. I think it's was it released this year? I think it was released this year. If not this year, last year. So Anyways, those are some fragrances that come to my mind, at least to my mind. I know that there's plenty of more easy to wear fragrances out there that are even more affordable. But if you're trying to really spend that full $400, I would. There's lots of good spring fragrances that are minty or have. I think spring is probably the most affordable out of the bunch. I would, maybe, wouldn't it depends on you, but I wouldn't cheap out on a summer fragrance. You're going to wear a lot of it, and you're probably going to use a lot of it and spray a lot because no matter what, most summer fragrances just don't last that much. You could go for Mansara. You could go for Oud Lemon Mint. That one is pretty dependable with pretty good performance. You could probably get it for about 80 if you look at the right places. That one's solid. But don't skip out on your summer fragrance. And then, the fall fragrance, you can spend some, but, maybe you could get a more affordable fall. There's lots of good leathers, lots of good spicy fragrances. And then possibly for the winter one, maybe that's where you could splurge. So that's what I would do. But it all depends on what you want to do. Maybe you feel like, your summer fragrance is more versatile and you're going to get more wearings out of it for anywhere, anytime. Maybe you want to spend more of your money on a summer fragrance. It all depends on, we're all different people. I'd rather have something that really tickles my fancy, that's really fascinating and interesting, and something that I really look forward to. So that's one reason I would suggest The Dark Side by Francesca Bianchi. So let me get back to the comments. I know that I just had my little rant, and then I have some catching up to do. So what's okay? Trust your nose. Your natural studio is really awesome. I'm happy that you like it. I definitely like being connected to nature, and fragrances help me to connect to nature. And I think again, I mention this just about every time anybody brings it up, but I think it's good that remember that fragrances ultimately come from nature, and the world and life is quite beautiful, and essentially take time to smell the roses. Is what I'm saying. Enjoy life and make it worthwhile. It says, I will schism. I'm relocating back to the States soon. There are a few American indie brands I want to try out. Yes, I think there's one of them is like DSH. There's, I think, Imaginary Authors, Gallagher Fragrances, and there's a few others. Kira NYC. There's a few American companies that are on the scene. I you know I'm try. I need to try more DSH fragrances, and there's another lady. I don't think I'm remembering her name right now, but I haven't found, I don't know, an American brand that I've fallen in love with yet, at least. So we'll have to see more about that. But see, let me see. Hopefully that helped you, Joseph. I'm definitely here for you with answering your questions and experiences. Yes, experience. Yes, we'd love to have you back. Where are you living at right now? Let me know. And what are you looking forward to trying? Schism says, very good. Amina, yes. Remember that you happened to me. I respect that. Yes, I definitely remember. And I do have a good memory, and I do enjoy, and the conversations are meaningful that I have with all of y'all, my friends. Let's see here. I am not Ray Lewis says, got Eau Trace Fresh on the way. I hope that you like it. If you like geranium, I think that you'll love it. If you liked Terre d'Hermes but wanted something more versatile, more fresh, it's lovely. If you want something that'll make you smell classy and upscale and nice, it's super versatile and certainly can be worn towards to work or the office or anywhere, anytime. It's Eau Trace Fresh. It to me is a designer fragrance. It's one of the best out there, hands down. So Francesca's stuff is potent. 30 mils goes a long way. Exactly. You're very right, Amina. 30 mils of that fragrance should last you forever. One or two sprays of any fragrance from Francesca Bianchi is more than enough, to really get noticed. And her fragrances are potent, and they're also very, I don't know, attention grabbing. They're really, bold and big notes, big things that are interesting and different, and how she blends them too. So the dark side is amazing. Yes, for me personally, I do think that I would like Lover's Tale on a lady. I do think that it's a great fragrance. I'm not sure. Because of that factor, I'm not sure if I would grow to love it more than some of the others. But for me personally, for wearing on me, Lost in Heaven and The Dark Side were my favorites. I think Etruscan Waters was a solid fragrance. but I do think that if I don't know, maybe I'll have enough money to just buy, you know, be able to justify Etruscan waters, but I don't know. I think the dark side's truly my favorite out of the bunch. I'm sorry about the sun. Where I live and with the angle of it, it's just beating down on me, and the sun is going down. You know, and it's just how it is with the horizon. So I'm sorry about that, everybody. Let's see here. Hello, I've if only I only had one fragrance per season, I'd go Spring Explorer. Yes, that's a solid option, a big compliment getter, and really easy to wear. Summer Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. Yeah, that's one of the best designer fragrances on the market right now for sure. A little bit salty, an aquatic fragrance, and has a better performance than a lot of them, a lot of other ones out there. And it's one of those. It has that, to me, Dolce & Gabbana. That DNA always has a vibe that reminds me of somebody going to the gym. A lot of people are curious, what's a good gym scent? A lot of people are like, what can I wear? What can't I wear? And they worry about it. If you want to, if again, I hope I get the word out. I've said it a few times, but if you want to no stress, no worries, anytime, anywhere, uh, gym scent, Dolce Gabbana Light Blue, the original, or any of the flankers that you like, any of the summer flankers, but especially the original or the intense, definitely very dependable and will do you quite beautifully. So let's see here. Catch up with the rest of them. Autumn, Garland Idl Edp. That's a pretty good offering. It's not the easiest to find sometimes, but it's solid. That one sells out. I don't know if it's produced less or if it's just really popular. I think the Garland Idl line is pretty popular right now, just in general, which I didn't think that at first, but it seems to be doing pretty well. And for winter, Victor and Rolf Spice Bomb Extreme. I need to get my nose on that one. It's had a lot of hype. A lot of people have been very positive about that fragrance. I probably should buy that one. I like the original, but it had a vibe about it, almost like an arrogant vibe, that I personally didn't work with my, just didn't do it for me with my personality. I'm more of the person who wants more of the seductive scent, the broody and the dark scent. And Spice Bomb Extreme was like in your face, somebody at the party, who's in the lady's face kind of smell. So it's definitely not me. Cyanide says based Afghano. Yes, great fragrance. Experienced fragrances with Amina. Says hi, Rich Mitch. Yes, Rich is in the house. Real Patchouli, or Really Patchouli. Yes, I know that fragrance by Boise 1920. That one's a solid fragrance too. Really, really good. It's kind of simple to some people, but I really like it. I don't know if you knew it from me. I only mentioned it like once, but Really Patchouli is a solid patchouli fragrance. It's one of the only, one of the best true to form patchouli fragrances that you can find. A lot of fragrances that have patchouli, you don't really get the idea of what true patchouli or a patchouli accord can smell like in and of itself. A lot of patchouli in like Tom Ford fragrances and even a lot of darker fragrances, you really don't notice the patchouli. I think that a lot of perfumers know how to use it as more of a supporting note, as more of a base or an aspect of their accords, where you really don't notice it because patchouli in and of itself possibly can be polarizing. It can be a big note like violet, like smelling like gasoline. Patchouli can come off to some people as smelling, dirty and grimy and oily and things like that. But Really Patchouli is able to really highlight the beauty of the note with also being wearable. It is a little bit simple, maybe to artistic fragrance lovers or people who really want creative, unique niche. But you're right, Rich. It's a solid fragrance for sure. And the House of Boise 1920 doesn't get a lot of love. Another standout fragrance from that house, in my opinion, is the Magia. I don't know if y'all know about that one, Magia. And that one is often compared to Silver Mountain Water. I do think that there are a lot of similarities, but it's a lot more light. It's a lot more, in my opinion, more musky than anything, more of like a musk interpretation of Silver Mountain Water. It doesn't have the inkiness and it doesn't have the berry quality to it. And it's more youthful to me. Very easy to wear, very safe, very inoffensive, and but yet very, very nice. It's if you like Silver Mountain Water, I know that there's some people out there who have to have everything that even smells remotely like Silver Mountain Water. I think that's definitely one that's worth trying out. but it's not the strongest fragrance. It doesn't have the best performance, but it certainly is a nice little charmer that you want to spray a lot of that one on. It makes you feel good. So, Rich Mitch says, amazing. Hello. Hey there, Hulking Hawken. Happy to see you. How's the fragrance life? Cloud Based Sense says, Mansara Sand Oud. I need to revisit that one. I think I tried the wind one, or whatever it was. I always want to say wind wood, but it could have been wind Oud. I know there's the Kumquat wood. But anyways, yeah, that one might work for you. It smells like sand, and as you know, Anakin and some people out there hate sand. So, I thought of getting Reflection Man for winter and Trace Fresh for the summer. I love both so much. On my skin and for me personally, Reflection Man is more. I don't even know if I would give it a certain season. It's more of like a highly versatile scent. I personally would think it's not a winter fragrance at all. If I had to give it a season, I would probably say it's more of a spring fragrance more than anything. But it can easily be worn in summer nights or in the right occasions in the summer. For me personally, Reflection Man is more of just like a very clean, sophisticated scent. I often, with also Galloway from Parfums de Marly, and it just is something similar to almost like Prada El Homme to me, where it smells very clean and upscale and a little bit luxurious, where it's and not too fancy, so it's good for something like a wedding, in my opinion. So, or maybe you like to be the guy who's wearing a white shirt, or just maybe wearing a white suit, or just always smelling super clean and super nice. So, I'm not a fan of nature. Do you have any industrial fragrances? Well, Hulkin Hawken, Noir Anthracite, smells like cement. I think that almost reminds me of a cemetery in a way. Noir Anthracite could be very much for you. Another fragrance that smells somewhat industrial to me is Ood Mineral by Tom Ford. That mineral quality is very much in the forefront. It almost has aquatic facets to it. The oud doesn't really isn't. I mean, it's not animalic. It's very much a supporting note, but you can notice it in a little bit in a way. But Oud Mineral to me is very much all about the mineral quality. It has a lot of it, and it might be very fascinating to you. Some people might disagree with me here, but I think that Grey Vetiver, especially the EDP, has an industrial feel about it. I've always felt like Grey Vetiver, even though it's a fine fragrance, it's good quality, and I can see why a lot of people love it. I've always felt like it's a fragrance that's very stern, very almost like what's it like? Almost a fragrance that almost feels cold. That might not make sense to other people. It doesn't smell particularly metallic. It doesn't smell like steel or anything, but it almost has that feeling to me in how it's composed. It certainly is not, in my opinion at least, not very playful. So that certainly could work for you if you want any industrial fragrances, and maybe I should make a list about that. There's, I don't know if you're in your opinion, if Fahrenheit smells industrial to you, but it smells like gasoline. So I certainly you could put it in that category, Dior Fahrenheit for industrial, because it smells of gasoline or petrol. So, what are some other ones that might work for industrial? I'd have to get back to you. I'm sure that we could find something for you that smells of sulfur. But one that does come to mind, this is the last industrial fragrance that I can think of for you guys. The Iron Duke from, I can't even remember the house. What is that? What is the name of the house? They also make Lignum Vitae. Beaufort, London. That's the one. Iron Duke from the house of Beaufort, London. It smells like powdered graphite. And yes, I know what powdered graphite smells like. It smells like lead. It smells like iron. And it smells very confident and masculine, and unusual. You don't know of many fragrances that smell like graphite or lead, do you? At least I don't. So I don't. That's a very polarizing fragrance. I don't know if everybody would like that one. Certainly, I think a little bit more for perhaps the grown-up guy. I you know, I think those are some good suggestions. I Again, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I am. I don't know if every fragrance reviewer could do something like that. Just name off, 5 or so industrial fragrances for you. So, Rich Mitch says spring green Irish tweed, summer pour Monsieur. That's a great fragrance. I'm happy that you said that, Rich Mitch. I think it was my last live or there a couple lives ago. I talked about how good that fragrance is. It might not be the longest lasting, but pour Monsieur is one of the best, green fragrances, modern gentleman fragrances, and I think it's a classic. It's not doesn't smell outdated to me. It's a great one. So autumn tobacco oud. Okay, that one's bold. Winter cure Mona Diori. I haven't tried that one. I don't know much about the that cure Mona Diori. I'll have to give that one a go. But Zoologist Elephant for the summer. Oh, cloud-based scents, my friend. You're going all out. Man, Elephant's unapologetic fragrance. I don't know if y'all have seen me on Instagram, but I tried that fragrance. I've tried most of the Zoologist fragrances now. And honestly, I don't want to beat up the brand. I don't have anything against Zoologist, but I have not found one that I personally have fallen in love with yet. I have not tried squid, but I don't like inky notes, so I suspect that I won't fall in love with it. But I'm excited to try maybe some of the other ones. I really did appreciate B. I think B is a masterpiece. Essentially, it's great, and I can see why it was loved so much. But I don't think I would personally wear B. To me, it's more of a unique fragrance. Maybe that a certain personality, a certain lady would perhaps like to wear, or maybe there are men out there who like to wear B. But for me personally, I could not wear it. But I do think it's. I mean, all of his fragrances are pretty darn well done. So, do you like Lidge, like Instant de Guerlain? Yes, it's a solid fragrance. It's the, if I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong. That one is kind of like a distant cousin, or often compared as a competitor to the Dior Homme line. I think it's the Dior Homme line kind of won out as being like something that was richer and something more bold when both those fragrances were released. Something that perhaps could be considered a semi gourmand. In that kind of family of fragrances. I think the Dior Homme line really stole the cake, really won the show, and Le Instant de Guerlain kind of got forgotten. Again, it's one of those fragrances that does have a irisy feel. Some people don't like iris or have a hard time with it. And Le Instant de Guerlain, I think the iris is more noticeable. I think that the accord really doesn't, I don't know, have a different facet to the fragrance with something that's rich or some other kind of note. So I think in the dry down, maybe the iris is a little bit more noticeable, even though I don't think it's particularly any more lipsticky or plasticky, as people might say, as the Dior Hommes. But I think that's maybe why it didn't get as much love. I think it could perhaps have used a little bit more woodiness, perhaps something interesting. I know that if it had more orris, I know it's a very expensive ingredient, but I think that if Le Instant de Guerlain had more orris to it, it could have worked beautifully. Or maybe they should have made it a little bit more powdery, perhaps. But anyways, it has, if I remember right, it has some cocoa to it off the top, some like dry, almost powdery cocoa. Chocolate essentially, but it's not Nutella chocolate. Don't get sweet ideas. If you've never tried this fragrance, I do think it's worth trying, especially if you like Dior Homme. I think it might remind you distantly of it. They're not the same. They are very different fragrances, but there are, they kind of were competitors at the time, and there are some people who feel like there are more similarities between the two. So, anyways, good fragrance. I'm not in love with it. I don't own a bottle of it, but I do appreciate how well it's done. And I also think it's very interesting, just like in the world with anything, everything from a bowl of soup to the car you drive. Some things are made just as well. Some things have just as much effort put into them, it seems. But certain things get more popular than others, and and kind of overshadow the others. So, yeah, it's not de Guerlain isn't talked about very much anymore. It's not really talked about at all, as far as I know, for the most part. So, Joseph says, I live in Sweden. I'm looking forward to the Black Afghano for the winter, to try Black Afghano for the winter. Yes, Sweden, I know that a lot of y'all seem, at least as far as I know, are very professional people who I don't know how to word things correctly, but seem very prim and almost proper to me. Um, is that a country where they frown upon cannabis? I'm not a I don't smoke any of it. I'm not into it myself, but I'm curious to see what people in Sweden would think about that smell. It's a very bold smell, and I'd be interested to see. I did meet really quickly, a lady who was almost like what's the receptionist is not even the right word. Anyways, a cashier of sorts at an airport one time, a lady from Sweden, and absolutely lovely lady, absolutely lovely. And if I hear that y'all are wonderful people, so hopefully I get to visit y'all one day. Rich says, Joseph, try Laudano Nero. It's better. Okay, Laderno Nero. I'll have to try that one sometime too. O'Dare 53 smells like sand. Is that who makes that one? I don't know O'Dare 53. Anyways, that's not Lalabo, is it? Benjamin says you should really try out Hawas from is that Al Rasasi? Yes. Smells a bit like Aqua Invictus Aqua. Okay, a little bit of Extreme vibes. Okay, I probably will give it a try. When I was in college, I liked Invictus. I used to have a big bottle of it. I personally have I don't know. It just doesn't have the magic for me anymore. If I want something youthful and playful, I have my Halloween Man X, and now I have my Pac Rabanne's Pure Excess Night. For those really playful, modern kind of maybe situations or vibes. So I don't know. Maybe I will give that one a try, but that kind of DNA really doesn't do it for me. I know some people love it. I kind of appreciate, and I've been tempted a lot of times to buy Azaro Wanted by Night. I think it's a really underrepresented fragrance. I think that Azaro had kind of a bad reputation, and or a little bit of it, and also because they didn't release so many fragrances. I think they kind of people weren't paying attention to them as much. But when they came out with Wanted, and I know that some people also didn't like the bottle because it looks again like the cylinder to a revolver. Again, people, that bothers some people out there. I think they're both great fragrances. I think the Wanted by Night is one of the best designer fragrances out there, especially for the money. And because you can't get this price anymore. But at one point, because it was so underrepresented and people weren't talking about it, there was like I think what was it, a 200 mil, something that was like a big bottle, and it was only like almost $30. So on Fragrance Net. So it was ridiculous. I almost scooped it up, but I don't need that much of that juice. I have plenty of other fragrances that can be mass appealing and smell great. But if I would have been in college at the time, if I was a college guy, I definitely would have been happy about that. Very happy. Anyways, sorry about my little rant there. I should try Hawas. I should. But I'm not at the point financially where I can just buy things for the heck of reviewing them willy nilly. I have to really be interested in it. Maybe I'll be able in the future, or if this channel picks up, I get very little ad revenue, and with my giveaways, with shipping, I give away almost all of it anyways. So maybe I'll be able to, with my ad revenue in the future, to review some more fragrances like that for you guys, and then maybe just give it away for the heck of giving it away. So, but I don't know. Again, I don't want to sound negative, and I'm very happy about this channel, and I'm happy about the friendship. But I lost 5 subscribers this week. I didn't gain any. I actually lost. And I guess this is a good point. I wanted to mention that I just hit 4,000 on Instagram. Instagram is a place where there's not not as much of this algorithm holding you down. I have mentioned keywords. I have said things with YouTube's algorithm that perhaps is holding me back. Some people might say it's my editing. I've had some bigger fragrance reviewers in the fragrance community indirectly talk about me and essentially say that people are watching content. Maybe this is their personality. Maybe it's true. I don't know if it is. And essentially, we're saying that people who watch YouTubers want more of entertainment than actual information. And y'all know that I do like to crack a little bit of a joke from time to time, but I'm passionate about fragrance, and that's why I come to YouTube. Somebody actually told me one time that they thought I forgot even how the conversation started, but they looked at my tags and they looked at like how I worded things, and they're like, Ben, people don't search for those kinds of things. Well, I'm like, I do. I search for type in leather fragrance, I type in spicy fragrances, and I look for different fragrances of those categories. I really dislike how YouTube really suggests things by popularity. I know the average person might want to see a Jeremy fragrance video or some popular top 10 list about something and just find something mass appealing, but that certainly is not me. If I type in leather fragrance, I want to find all kinds of different leather fragrances, and I wish that YouTube would serve me as a viewer and actually give me what I want. So anyways, I don't know if YouTube is helping me out. I don't know if YouTube doesn't like me or what's going on, but Instagram is doing wonderfully for me. I'm up to 4,000. There's a lot of people who are really care about, maybe, I don't know, maybe they're more interested in actual chatting and actual conversation. I don't know, maybe, and Instagram is just not as controlled like that with an algorithm. And I'm definitely doing a lot better over there than I am here. Um, so I will be doing a giveaway, but it's more of an Instagram giveaway because we're celebrating my 4,000 on Instagram. But I do want to invite y'all over to my Instagram for that giveaway. I'll let y'all know in the future of that post. I might put out that post later, next week. Or maybe I'll wait till like Friday or something so I can tell y'all live, next Friday about my, actual giveaway post. But we will be doing a big giveaway there. I'll do another 4 packages for y'all. It'll be a lot of fun. I already did a quick post and mentioned it on my Instagram. So again, hopefully y'all check me out there. Anyways, let's jump back to the comments. Let's see here. I'll check it out. Tom Ford's Metallic is a nice industrial smell, very polarizing. Oh, you're exactly right. I forgot about that one. That one even has a silver or a metallic bottle, doesn't it? Metallic, yeah, it smells like metal. Beaufort, London, exactly. Savoy Stee. I don't know what you meant. Savoy Steam from Benhaligan smells like a burst of hot water. Maine. Okay, that one definitely could be industrial then. That's a good suggestion, Rich Mitch. I don't think I've tried that one, and that's a nice one. I need to try more zoologists. Zoologists are very fascinating. They're very creative fragrances, and they're definitely, hit or miss, And just like with any niche, I always tell people you're probably going to dislike more niche than you like. Everybody's different. Some people seem, fragrance reviewers especially, here on YouTube, there seem to be a few who like almost every fragrance, especially designer. They like almost everything. So more power to them. No disrespect towards them. But at least for me, especially with niche, I tend to, want to be picky. I want to wear fragrances I truly love. So if I don't have a connection to the fragrance, or if I don't feel anything, or think it does something extremely, extremely well where, I find it enjoyable and unique, I just, especially when they're so expensive, they don't, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. I'm looking forward to Zoologist. I've suggested and joked about him making, everything from zebra to whale to flamingo. I know that his fragrance called Sloth is still, I don't even think it's available everywhere yet. I don't think it's available everywhere distribution-wise. So his next fragrance out is Sloth. So I don't know when his next release is going to be, but if he does something like Zebra or something, maybe, I don't know, who knows what he could do. He could do all kinds of funny stuff. He could make an aardvark fragrance. He could make, there's all kinds of funny creatures out there in the world. The world is his oyster. He's not limited by his idea and the structure of his company. So hopefully one of these days I'll find one of his that I really, really like. They were all well done fragrances, but I'm not in love. So see here, I want to try Savoy Steam, but I heard the longevity was abysmal. Yeah, I haven't tried it either, so I'm sorry that I really can't comment on that collab based sense. But I'll have to get my nose on it sometime too. Most Penhaligon EDTs have very poor longevity, great fragrances though. Yeah, but yeah, it's true. Penhaligon's does have a couple different lines and a couple different fragrances that are different. They have the Portraits collection, which has some more creativity behind the I don't know, the story behind the fragrance, and they have fancy caps on the top. So a lot of them are based on animals. There's Terrible Teddy, Roaring Radcliffe with a lion on the top. I think Terrible Teddy is the one with the rhinoceros, and I really want to try those two. There's the Tragedy of Lord George, which I think is pretty popular, which I think has a reindeer, I think, on the top of it. So yeah, but those are much more expensive. But hopefully those perform better. So I want to try Zoologist Squid, Schism says. I bet if you like inky notes, if you really like Encre Noir by Lalique, you like that ink. There's some inkiness I can detect in Silver Mountain Water by Creed. You might just like Squid. So really nice. I'm sure it's really nice. I haven't tried it yet, but Chameleon by Zoologist is really good. Yeah, they're all really good. I was just trying to say that I didn't fall in love with any of them to want to buy them myself. But I'm hoping that maybe in the future that I'll find one that really speaks for me. I know that if he decides to make this fragrance, I'm going to say one fragrance he needs to make. And if you make this fragrance, I am very, very sure that I will like it. And I am very, very sure that I definitely will have a customer and a purchase from me here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel. It's Penguin. Make Penguin, zoologist, and I will definitely be a purchase. If you make anything that smells icy, anything that smells cold, anything that smells minty, especially if you decide to throw juniper in there, or ambergris, or if you decide to make seal or something, I don't know. If you do something like that, it'd be fascinating. I don't know if he would make orca or killer whale because legalities, all these companies, can butt heads, and I know that House of Matriarch already has a fragrance called Orca, so I don't know if he would make a fragrance named Orca, and I don't know if he would make a fragrance called Killer Whale because that might scare off some people. So, anyways, enough about that. Make Penguin or make Seal, Arctic Seal or something, and I'll be into it. Anyone know where I can get coconut fizz for under retail? FragranceNet. FragranceNet might not have it in stock. I know that's a very popular one. I actually saw somebody today on one of the fragrance groups talk about how much he loved that fragrance. I'm actually very tempted to blind buy it. I blind bought Lemon Verde from the Aqua Allegoria line from Guerlain. It's the only Guerlain in my collection. Yes, those fragrances don't last terribly long, but do they smell beautiful? Oh, yes, they smell beautiful from the Aqua Allegoria line. They smell absolutely refreshing. And summer fragrances usually don't last anyways. So if you want a fragrance where you can wear something in the morning and then in the evening of the day, you'll be able to put on another fragrance because that one's gone already. You can have a lot of fun, and you could layer them because they do smell great. They do smell like they are satisfying, but they are kind of linear as well. So you possibly could layer them, almost add a citrusy top to any fragrance. So Coconut Fizz looks really good. I want to get my nose on it. And I don't know how unisex Coconut Fizz is, but I know that if you've been hearing really good things and if you're tempted as a guy, again, I am more of a masculine, perhaps traditional kind of guy. And I smelled Lemon Verde, and I'm comfortable with wearing Lemon Verde. It's just a lemon or a lime, a green lime fragrance with grassy nuances. It just doesn't have as much of the sharpness of really, really fresh, crisp lime. It just doesn't, it's not as sharp where when you first smell the fragrance, it really, gets to you. So anyways, guys and gals, ladies and gents, really good house. Aqua Allegoria line is really getting a lot of love, but it's still under the radar as a whole, I think. Really, really good house and line. Again, it doesn't last the longest. Maybe one of these days they'll make some dark versions of some of those best sellers, or maybe they'll decide to give us an extrate. I know that some people out there would be willing to pay the money for extrates of some of those Aqua Allegoria fragrances. So, anyways, let's get back to some more of the comments. Let's see here. Hey, let's see, Ben. Maybe this can help you with your channel. What was that? What will help me with my channel? Let's see here. Hi everyone. Hate review from the 6. Happy to see you. How's the fragrance life going for you? Have you been getting into any new fragrances? Um, Review Schism says hello. Hello, my friends. How you doing? Hi, Skiz. Laughing face. Back when I was broke, I would rub car fresheners on me before I went to clubs. Oh goodness, that's Kitty. We gotta do better for you. We gotta do something. You gotta do better, and I hope things are better for you. But yeah, I've never done anything like that, but uh, I have made some poor man's college food and funny stuff like that before. But hopefully you can afford at least a celebrity fragrance. Something at $10 to $20 range. My goodness, that's hope that days are better now. I hope that you have something good. I'm pretty sure that you do. So, Schism says, "Lol, Kitty." Hey, Centaur, Richie, and Mitchie. Hey there, H2. Oh no, happy to see you. I don't know who you are, but thank you for popping in. Anyways, everybody, are there any fragrances that you've been are exciting to you? Anything that you bought recently? Anything that is on your mind? Maybe you want a review of. If there's anything that you want to see a review of from my video on Instagram, I actually showcased a fellow fragrance reviewer was very generous with me and sent me tons of samples. I mean, tons of samples. He sent me a ridiculous amount of things. And I know that y'all want to see a review of Bois de Jour. I have a few Tom Fords I know y'all want reviews of. I'm going to do a couple introductions to some house videos. I think I have enough fragrances to introduce the House of Imaginary Authors, Zoologist, and also it was just in my head. So it's like something London. What? Anyways, it went from my head. It's not Beerfoot London. It's the house that makes like wood sage and sea salt and all that. It's escaping me. My mind lagged. Anyways, guys. Yes, I just picked up Garland EDP, Ralph Lauren's Rush, and Lacoste pour Homme. Those are all pretty solid fragrances. The Guerlain Boisé is pretty darn good. I spoke pretty highly of that fragrance. I do wish that it would lasted a little bit longer, but I spoke really highly of that fragrance in the past, and it's pretty darn good. I'm not too familiar with Ralph Lauren's Rush. I can't speak about if that one's good or not. I did hear, a little bit yays and a little bit of nays about if that one's good or not. I need to probably give Lacoste a little bit more of a chance, spend a little bit more time with their fragrances, but I know that they have one that's supposed to smell similar to like I think it was like CHMN Privé or Tuxedo or something like that, and it's in a fancier looking bottle, but I don't know. The Lacoste white and the blue and the red and the yellow and the black and some of the other ones I've tried, I haven't found any Lacoste fragrance that I would buy, even at discounts. So, let's see here. What do you think about 1 Million Eau de Parfum? I have to be honest with y'all. Y'all know I am. I have not tried that one yet. I definitely will be getting my nose on it. I think it looks really fascinating. As far as from what I hear, it almost sounds like it's more of a edition where it has more of a solar kind of feel, like the sun, like behind my head. So that's what I hear, but I don't know if it's true. I really don't. But it'll be exciting to try. I looked at the notes, and the notes look really good to me. So, was it Ohio Sense? Lol. He sent me a lot. Hooked up a brother. No, it wasn't him. It was a wonderful fellow named Dean. He's actually a really cool guy. And he sent me an awful lot. And I might have to try to sell some of them because he does want me to send him maybe some fragrances in return, and he's in Canada, so shipping is not cheap. So we'll have to see what we can do about that. Joe Malone, exactly. That was the company I was thinking of. I couldn't remember it for a second. You helped me out there, Amina. Joe Malone is the company. I can do a house introduction of Joe Malone, a number of houses, Zoologist, Imaginary Authors. So, Kindred. No, it wasn't Kindred. It was Joe Malone. Lacoste Optimistic is the yellow bottle is great. Yeah, see, I should give it more of a chance. It's probably a pretty decent fragrance. I tried them all. I probably didn't give them a fair chance, but I wasn't head over heels in love with really any of them. I have to be honest with y'all, but maybe I'll come around to it. Maybe I will have a Lacoste fragrance in my collection one day, but right now, not so much. And I fear that as I try more niche fragrances, I might just want more of the tobaccos and the coffees. I'm crazy about those. So I was thinking sea salt and fig. Yeah, would I always mix them up? It's probably sea salt or wood sage and sea salt and mandarin. There's a couple. There's one of them that I always seem to mix up. They have two different fragrances. Anyways, wood sage. Anyways, yeah, I'm wearing Guerlain Boisé, and I'm sure it's gone in 3 hours later, but it's a good scent. Yeah, and again, it might be gone in 3 hours. It might not. Always, I've told y'all a couple times. For some reason, almost all fragrance reviewers and almost all people, fragrance-wise, have taught you and told you to spray fragrances on your chest. That's actually very, very bad advice, and I hope you get the word out, and I hope that you will tell other fragrance reviewers because they're not enjoying fragrances as much as they could. When you spray fragrances directly on your chest, that's where your heart is. That's where your core, your highest temperature zone, the biggest temperature, highest heat area of your body, and it's going to make that fragrance evaporate faster. It's also forcing that fragrance straight upwards, also going into your nose. So that's one reason people go nose blind really quickly. That's one reason other people are able to still smell that fragrance and you're not on you. So I always suggest spraying fragrances on your elbows. You will see myself included and other fragrance reviewers spray fragrances on their hand. That's just because it's really easy access to smell a fragrance on your hand. But if I'm actually wearing a fragrance, actually for myself throughout the day, I'd never spray it on my hand because I'm going to wash my hands, especially with what's going on in the world these days. Washing my hands regularly. If I'm wearing gloves, a jacket, anything, it's gonna scrape and rub that fragrance, and I definitely would not spray on my hand like that normally. I just do that for reviews. So maybe you'll be able to get a little bit more performance out of it. I got something more like 5 hours, but it's definitely not it's not a strong fragrance. But yeah, it's pretty well made and it does smell good. So Ben, the link under the comment, he is the link Wolf YouTube tips. DOA. I'm not. You got to remind me what we were talking about. DOA. I'm not following. You lost me there. DOA says Ben. Maybe this can help you. Okay, so that's what you're talking about. I just looked up your comment. Um, Link Wolf YouTube tips. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Are you talking about the YouTube tips? I've watched some of those funny little YouTube videos who tell you how to do better, how to be a better YouTuber, and all those things. I know about editing. I know how to do interrupts where you do like little funny things throughout your video. And I don't want to throw shade at other fragrance reviewers. I'm not that. I really don't want to do anything like that, even though I think there's a few of them. Some people who do get free bottles who should be transparent about getting free bottles. That's borderline going against YouTube's policies, especially those who possibly been gotten paid. And there's somebody. I don't know if they get paid, but I certainly know that they're at least doing something big. Being a spokesperson or a face for Parfums de Marly and Fragrance du Bois, it seems, and I'm not gonna do that. But what you reminded me of there was that there's a fellow fragrance reviewer who's recently put on a suit. I won't say who this fragrance reviewer is, and they recently started doing pattern interrupts so throughout their video to be funny. It's really awkward right now. I saw one of their videos, and it's quite awkward. They change their voice pitch to high or low throughout their video, and they're doing like funny thing and weird things that really to me don't make sense. Maybe people like to watch those videos. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. But I kind of clicked off the video because it seemed so forced. It didn't seem natural. And I hope that I come across as natural and personable and real. And that's why I like to watch people. If I watch a fragrance video, I like to see something probably new, something unexplored, or I really value their almost their authority or their experience. Like I watch people like Eugene because he knows Guerlain, and I know that he really understands Guerlain, and I can learn something from him. I watch Robes 08 because I know that I can learn something from Robes 08 and some of these guys like that out there. Um, and this guy, again, we're all different. There's different people, different strokes for different folks, but I don't know. I might have to unsub. I've unsubbed from some people. I don't. I'm not going to name who they are, but some of them might know who they are. They've grown. Some of them have grown really fast. I used to be friends with them. One of them, I actually helped them to make a YouTube channel, and they're far bigger than I am, and they're actually quite popular. And right now, uh, and I don't like how they've done with their content, but we're all different. I'm pretty sure that lots of people in the fragrance community think my content is boring, but I don't know. YouTube's funny. That's kind of something that I thought was interesting because I'm losing subs on YouTube. I'm almost at 4,000 on Instagram, and I just don't care anymore. I don't know. I don't want to have to do YouTube stuff where I have to edit in really strange, funny clips or do pattern interrupts where you see like, I don't know, skits or I don't know, ridiculous things that that don't work with my personality. So, anyways, let me get back to the comments. What's a good, long lasting unisex citrus scent? I'm really having a hard time with citruses being too fleeting. Almost all citruses are fleeting. It's a nature of the beast, Amina. It's a nature of those fragrances. Citruses are very volatile; they don't last very long, and citruses also, go bad. People worry about fragrances going bad. I've talked at length in past lives, and I made a video all about it. But your fragrances are gonna, especially if you store them right, store them in a closet outside of the sunlight, and you keep them cool. Your fragrances are going to last a very, very long time, 10, 20 years, who knows, or more. So, but citruses are the first thing to evaporate out of your fragrance or possibly go bad. So, um, there's not a lot of long-lasting citrus fragrances. You know, I think you just have to enjoy them. But there are some that are more synthetic. You can get Hane Mori for him. The citrus lasts a pretty good long time. The lemon citrus and Club de Nuit Intense Man does last a good while. There are Mansara. Some people again, I'm on the side. I like Mansara for being an entry level niche fragrances that are fairly wearable with good longevity. And I'm not the biggest person on compliments, but certainly Mansara fragrances, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are big, big compliment getters. So go try out Oud Lemon Line. You might like Oud Lemon Line. It's probably one of the longest lasting aquatics that I know of. But I think, aquatics are funny, and maybe I don't judge them right. Again, I've told y'all a couple times, but I tried a fragrance out there called Cell Marin. It's a niche fragrance from the House of Healy. It's supposed to smell like salt water. I'm sure that it does last a while on my skin as a musk, but I put a bunch of that on from a sample, and it was completely a skin scent immediately, and I felt like the fragrance was almost immediately gone. Maybe it made my skin smell a little bit salty and lingered like that a little while, but if I want to make my skin just smell naturally salty, why don't I just pour salt water on myself or sweat a little bit and get a natural, sweaty musk? And it is kind of, it's not the most expensive niche, but it is fairly expensive. So, but somebody out there said that they got 8 hours out of that fragrance, and it's one of the weakest fragrance that I've ever tried in my whole collection. So, anyways, uh, fairly long lasting. Again, they're not beast mode. Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Intense. I really like the Swimming in La Paris version, which has a lot of ambergris and is very salty. So that's the flanker Dolce Gabbana Light Blue called Swimming in La Paris, which I really recommend that fragrance for you guys. It's really, really nice. But I'm sorry. Maybe if I make a fragrance company, I'm working on that. I think I might make a soap company first. But maybe let me know. Do y'all want me to start something like something crowdfunding wise? So maybe we could get make the ball roll, get it rolling, make it start faster, and maybe I'll make y'all really long lasting, some summer fragrances because I know a lot of people are seeking those out. So, Kieran NYC has one called was it called like Sunday Brunch? It has some lemon and some Earl Grey tea. It's not the longest lasting fragrance. It's more of a 6 hour long fragrance, but it's a really good one as well. Um, they're not the longest lasting either, but you could check out the house of what's that house's name? They make Old Olmsted and Volks. They make Moab, Fleur. That's it, Fleur. I think it's PHLUR. Really underrated house. They make some solid modern fragrances. If you're a stickler for quality, you like naturals, probably can tell that they're synthetics, but it's tastefully done. I don't think that the synthetic quality of Fleur fragrances are off-putting at all. So, you could maybe check out that house as well. And commodity fragrances just came back. I don't know. I hear some people get good performance out of commodity. I really didn't test them for performance. I bought a discovery pack. I sprayed just about every and wore everything just about once. I didn't love any of the fragrances that I tried. So maybe some of those give you a good performance. I don't know. There's Bergamot 22 out there. Some people really like it. Does come off as more synthetic. Most Le Labo fragrances, to my nose, do come off as more synthetic, but some people really do like Bergamot 22. Some people either can't smell or just don't care about the details of the smell, with it smelling, more classy or luxurious or fancy or richer or deeper or fresh. Those little details. So you might like Bergamot 22, and if you do, nothing's wrong with it. But for the price, y'all know that I'm just not crazy about it. Bergamot 22, I was pretty critical of it. So, 24 gold, Ice Gold is a great citrus that lasts very long. I've heard that one smells similar to a Dolce Gabbana Light Blue. It probably does last very well. I have the 24 Gold Oud edition. By Scent Story, and that's a solid fragrance. Very good, but that's more of a fall winter fragrance. So yeah, that one probably is a good one to look into. It's not terribly expensive either. About the only places where I see many of those Scent Story fragrances, the ones who make 24 Gold and that Ice Gold, is Fragrance by See It. I'm not plugging them because I'm affiliated or something. It's those fragrances aren't just too available. And actually, for the longest time, I really wanted 24 Gold. I heard the hype about it a couple years ago. I didn't know where to buy it. I don't know if they distribute in the USA at all. They're not readily available just about anywhere besides that company. That's about the only place I know where to get them at. So, thank you. I'll have to check it out. Hopefully, I helped you out a little bit. There's a few of them to check out, but just enjoy the fragrance and perhaps be willing to reapply. I know that it's annoying that summer fragrances aren't super long lasting, but that's kind of the name of the game. And maybe, perhaps you would prefer to buy a more affordable citrus so you could put on lots of sprays throughout the day or bring a decant with you. That's perfectly fine, and that might be something you like to do. And also with summer fragrances, it gives you an opportunity to blend other citrus fragrances with each other that usually play well with each other, and you can, apply them throughout the day. So maybe in the morning you want a citrus, maybe in the evening you want something fruity, maybe you want to mix the two the next day, a fruity citrus, spray on a couple of those, maybe the next day, who knows what you want. So you can go floral citrus, floral and citrus, and then floral fruity, and have some fun with it. So see, Amina says, have you tried Goldfield and Banks Bohemian Lime? Oh my gosh, it lasts forever. No, I have not tried that one yet. I did not like Pacific Rock Moss very much, but I will have to try that fragrance, Bohemian Lime. It looks really good, and I love lime. If it's good as I'm hearing a few people say it is, I'll fall in love with it. I want to get my nose on it. It's not readily available. At least I don't think it is, so I'll have to try it out. Colonia Essenza lasts all day on me. Yeah, I hear that Colonia Essenza does last a really long time. Some people really love it. That one is the one that's notorious to some people, not everybody. I'm not saying it's bad, but to some people it smells like bug spray, and I kind of could detect that. Some people aren't familiar with that bug spray vibe or that citronella kind of smell, so it might not do any. That might not even be something that you care about. But it does last. It does have pretty good performance, but it definitely has like a high pitch, and I can detect that quality about it. So it's pretty pricey though. Yeah, it's but with the Oud Lemon Lime, that gives you better performance at least, and if you look at the right places, you can find it for about $80. So I passed the person who helped me start my channel, and he hates me now. I think it's because I changed my content and from the traditional way he was doing it. Yeah, reviews from the six. That's probably what I need to do if I do want to grow. I guess people don't want to see you just sit in front of a camera and review and talk about fragrance. Maybe they want to see you move about and switch the scenery, and the camera. I need to catch up with your content. Yeah, but I'm sorry that he does hate you. I don't hate any of these people who have gotten bigger than me. It's just that I kind of prefer the OG way of doing things. It's what I perhaps like. I really do enjoy like Robes of Weight, and I'm not saying this to suck up to him or anything. I really do like that content. That's what I got into YouTube watching. Watching Dre Doc, watching my Mickers, watching Max Forte, Jentsense, and all these guys, A Gentleman's Journey, watching all these guys, and doing more than that traditional style where it's about the fragrance. It's not a traveling blog. It's not where you're trying to be overtly funny. If people really want that, there are some people like Lucas Poe out there. I don't know if you know about him. I've mentioned him pretty positively a couple times. I guess I'll give the guy another shout out. Lucas Poe is definitely likes to throw in some wit in there, and also Aussie Frags. But Aussie Frags, for some reason, hasn't been growing really as big as a few of the other people he started out with. Aussie Frags really, maybe it's because of some of the innuendo or something. I'm not sure, but Aussie Frags does throw some good wit. And I did watch some of his content recently, and he did some more editing. So shout out to Aussie Frags. He's a really cool guy, and shout out to Lucas Poe. And they definitely mix in a little bit more entertainment. And Stefan Fragrance has always been awesome. I've always watched his content, even though he is definitely, at least in my opinion, he's not focused on the information side of things like I really focus on. I enjoy his personality and the almost the friendship or camaraderie I feel through his fragrances or through his videos. And if he wants to make a YouTube channel, be a YouTuber, I think that he has potential. Certainly, because he has a cool vibe about him. I think he could do anything. I think he's into music. He could start some kind of like music channel. There's a lot of potential for a lot of these guys. So, um, let's see. I've been told Bohemian Lime, but yes, very expensive. I'll have to try a sample. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm about halfway through a 5 ml decant of Bohemian Lime. Beautiful finger lime note. Might have to pick up a bottle. I'm not familiar with a finger lime. It must be a small, skinny lime or something, huh? But that sounds really good. I really do like the mint. I really do like lime. I like juniper. I tend to like those really fresh, uplifting, almost green type of notes. So, with Amina says Facebook. Where do you get your decants? If I get any decants, I either get them from myfragrancesamples.com. Started, I forget if it's by YouTuber, somebody in the fragrance community. He's doing pretty well for himself. He's a really cool guy and a very reputable brand and website. Some of these websites are very sketchy, but I bought from myself 2 times from myfragrancesamples.com. Really good people. There's the Fragrance Decant Boutique. They're doing a pretty good job. There's a few other ones, but I haven't really bought from them or messed with them. There are people who do decant and splits and the like on groups, so you could possibly go and find some of those groups. You could probably get some pretty good connections in the Fragrance Guru Nation, which is a Facebook group from Robes of Weight. So that might be a good way to go about it. If I do buy decants, I get them from where I buy my fragrances. I sometimes look at the samples from FragranceNet or Fragrance by CA. On the rare occasion, if I really want something, I'll be willing to pay the full price on eBay and really fork out the money. But if it's a very popular fragrance, you risk it being getting it diluted, or some funny business like that on eBay. So, but there are some very reputable decanters off of eBay. So, who knows? Maybe that's the road you want to go to. So, but a lot of people in the fragrance community don't seem to like to buy decants off of eBay for some reason, which they want to be more personable or come off that way. I really don't understand it. So, but hey, we're all different. So, yes, I vote on the crowdfunding summer fragrance. All right, if y'all want it, if I'll mention it a little bit more. I'll try to maybe build up my confidence and maybe see if I can, we can get that going. Because for me personally, I really want to. There's a number of companies I want to start. Hopefully, I can have one of them at least give me some success, and I can definitely get in a better place in life. But by golly, I want to have a soap company. I want a natural fragrance company, and I'm kind of really starting to lean more towards an attar company. But I know that a lot of y'all prefer sprays. I'm sorry about some of the neighbors' dogs over there going crazy, but I really prefer naturals with attars. But if y'all really want the sprays and maybe something that's long lasting, definitely a mix of naturals and synthetics. That's definitely something. Maybe y'all can help me out. I'll help you out. So, uh, anyways, okay, I'll check it out. Bergamot 22 disappeared on me so fast because it's because I had a dabber. I'm not sure. It's not the. It doesn't come off as a fragrance that's thick. Again, it kind of depends on what you're expecting. Bergamot 22 doesn't have a rich, heavy feel to it. So if you're expecting, some fragrances could be lasting really long on you, but you're expecting them to feel a certain way as well. But they could still be on you. In the dry down of a lot of fragrances, some of them do become denser and heavier, and you can really feel them. But some fragrances don't, but they're still there kicking off on you. So, yeah, I would definitely try to apply on the elbows with a dabber. It is really hard to judge longevity or the smell off a dauber. Daubers, kind of really don't do justice to a fragrance. You really need at least a roll-on or possibly a spray to really experience it, at least in my opinion. So, yeah, Bergamot 22 is fairly long-lasting. Most people get at least 6. Most people get 8 hours. I've seen some people say that they get even longer than 8 hours with Bergamot 22. I guess it depends on, I don't know, the person or skin chemistry or something funny going on. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I don't like them either. Ben, you have a... are you the same person who asked me that? Or is it somebody else? No, it's not a skunk. We have a funny dog. It's got some white and some black. It's our funny little dog named Cookie. My fragrance samples are very good quality. Oh, are you selling decants or samples, Skizza? Do you have a website? How should people reach out to you? There are some smaller fragrance YouTube, content creators. I am the same person. Okay, you're the person who's always making fun of my little dog. So, anyways, there's Swift Sense. I don't know about how much inventory she has, and I'm not even sure if she really does it anymore. But if you find her YouTube channel, Swift Sense, she started decanting, and for a while she was sending me a few decants of odds and ends and of things that she had sampled and gotten free decants from places and didn't want anymore. So her prices were very generous as well. So you might want to check out Swift Sense. Wonderful lady. So. Anyways, everybody, I feel like we've gotten to the end of the chat on Fridays. I know people have places to be, things to do, maybe people to do. So I'm probably going to end this really soon. I will be on here Saturday, and we usually have a little bit of a longer stream on Saturday. It's getting noisy out there. The cicadas are singing their song. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's bleating in my ears. Very, very loud. The cicadas are being very loud this evening. I don't know if y'all can hear that through the speakers here. But, okay, so see, they're quieting down. See, they just quieted down. That one over there, loud. Olfactives sells decants too. She has a pretty amazing collection. Yeah, and I'm sure that a bunch of these people like could really do that. I mean, there's some people with some amazing collections. They some of these people out there have fragrances that you'll never almost never find anywhere else. So, do you feel there's a difference between a YouTuber and a fragrance reviewer? I kind of do, because if you're a YouTuber, I mean, I guess everybody's a you. If you put out any video on YouTube, I guess you are a YouTuber. But I guess if you're focusing and attempting to be a YouTuber, you're attempting to get the biggest views possible, or you're attempting to follow always follow the trends, and always follow the algorithm. Uh, to me, a fragrance reviewer is somebody who's focused more on the fragrance, and no, maybe not their fragrance journey, but they're really passionate about the fragrance, and that's what they really care about. Exploring something new, something interesting, or really, going in depth with things, or maybe they love the history of fragrance. There's different ways to approach fragrance reviewing, and there's different people who put more focus or have more interest in certain aspects of fragrance. Some people, all they really want to mention is do girls like it. More power to them. That's their fragrance journey. Some people really want to focus on, does it get me compliments, or does it give me super good longevity, performance beast mode. Everybody's different. So we all are on a different kind of fragrance journey. But, if you're focusing on being a YouTuber, in regards to fragrance, you're really going to always do top 10 lists. You're always going to try to follow, popular things. I've seen some people making, like, Rona videos. So, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, videos regarding that, like things that are trendy that way. And I don't know, guys. It's just not something that I would want to do or be into. So, anyways, thanks for the chat. Nice to have a YouTuber stay real and honest. Yeah, well, it's really hard, That's why a lot of people come and go, and I have been tempted a couple times to stop this YouTube channel, because if you're focused on the numbers, if you see other people's success, and that's what you're here for, if that's why you start a YouTube channel, is to do just as good, if not better, than the other guy, inevitably somebody somehow is going to be, they get the luck of the draw with YouTube. Somebody, maybe they do make genuinely better content. Maybe it's just their personality. Maybe they have better connections. Who knows? There's all kinds of reasons. But if you're here just for the numbers, I've been surpassed by so many people. There's people who, and YouTube-wise, I guess you could look at them as my peers, and they've quadrupled, maybe 5 times X to me. And I guess I could throw suspicion their way to say, have you bought subs or not? But I guess that doesn't really matter. But all I have to know is if, I don't know. There's always the debate of being satisfied personally with yourself, and being satisfied with a number, and your influence, and meeting more people. I do want more people to see me. Of course, if you're on YouTube, you want more people to get introduced to you, become a member of your group, your family, and make new connections. But that's what I really care about. It's not the numbers of subs. It's not the likes. It's not that sense of validation. But YouTube, that's essentially a metric on how they judge you. So the bigger you get, the more YouTube is going to show you to people, and then the more authority you seem to have, and more people tend to like you, and then that supports the ego. So it's always a funny thing with ego and all of that. So there's no debating that if you're on YouTube, you probably have some sort of ego, because you're willing to put yourself out like this, and put this much work, and also have, some sort of expectation. I don't know what other people's expectations are, but who knows? I would at least like to feel like from week to week, I'm at least gaining a few, 1 or 2 subs. This week, again, guys, I lost 5 subs. It's because, I've been talking about niche and indie, and I've been doing my own thing. I haven't put out top 10 list. I haven't put out cheapy videos, and I haven't done tag videos. And I haven't really put out, it's been about a week or 2, but fairly recently I haven't put out a new haul video. And that's what a lot of people seem to watch, top 10s and hauls and tags. So that's one reason I probably lost some subs. So A purchase from Scent Split and Scent Box. Oh yeah, and there are subscription services for fragrances too. Some people are very much against them. Scentbird is notorious for that. You can, if you get niche fragrances, get off decently. Sometimes they have a few things that are amazing. Like they had Clive Christian's Rock Rose, but for the most part, you get ripped off at Scentbird. There's Luxury Scent Box. They have a smaller selection, but they do have some real deal niche fragrances. So if that's your kind of thing with niche fragrances, I don't know. Maybe you'd be interested in that. But this was nice. Will you go live? Yes, I'll be on here 6 p.m. Central Time, live tomorrow night, Saturday evening, if I remembering my days right. So, anyways, everybody, I'll probably wrap this one up. But thank y'all so much for the friendship. Thank y'all so much for the love. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Maybe I could do something different. Maybe maybe I should put out more emotion out there, but I don't want it to be contrived and I don't want it to be fake. I did notice that I talked about Aventus in 2020, the new batch of Aventus being very, very poor, and I spoke very heartfeltly, and I think I think I put my personality and my beliefs, and I think I communicated very well, articulated myself well, and that video actually has done very well for me, at least compared to my recent videos. But you know, sometimes you see videos of me where I have 50 views in one day, only 50 views or maybe even less. I have one video that hit 10,000 views, and it was a top 10 summer list. So you know, those lists can really take off if you do them right. So, but I don't know. It's always I'll stop talking about that, but it's always something in your mind. It's always something in the back of your mind. Do you want to focus on your fragrance journey and what you care about, or do you want to care about the clout chasing or however people word it? Anyways, everybody, have a beautiful day. Be safe, be well, enjoy your weekend, cook some beautiful food. You know, say hello to your family, or do all that good stuff. Have some fun, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Be safe, be well, wear what you love, and I hope that you enjoyed the live tonight. I hope that I helped somebody. I hope that you made a new friend. I'm here for you. Stay well, stay safe, stay beautiful. I know that y'all will. I'll do a quick thank you to everybody that I see real quick. I'll say goodnight. Dingo L, thank you for stopping in. Reviews from the 6. Good night to you. Experiencing fragrances with Amina. It was a joy having you. Thank you for the friendship, Amina. It's always a joy to have you. Let's see here. Schism, as always. DOA was in the house. Jose Santo. Let's see here. Was there anybody else? Rich Mitch was here earlier, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody. If I missed anybody, good night to you as well. Wish you the very best. Have a beautiful evening, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, and bye, everybody. I'll see you.